Welcome to our English lesson. Today we will practice the verb. Prefer. Definition. Prefer is a verb used to indicate that one thing or action is more desirable or favorable than another. Use. 1. To express a general preference. 2. Used in the present simple tense. 3. Followed by a noun, gerund, or to infinitive. Examples. I prefer tea to coffee. She prefers reading to watching TV. They prefer to stay home on weekends. Let's practice with structures and sentences. Structure. I prefer coffee. She prefers ice cream. He prefers books. They prefer summer. He prefers chocolate. Structure. I prefer metro to bus. I prefer Hindi to English. He prefers rice to bread. I prefer village to city. She prefers winter to summer. Structure. I prefer tea over coffee. I prefer texting over calling. Emily prefers cats over dogs. Lily prefers sunsets over sunrises. My friend prefers pizza over pasta. Structure. She prefers a laptop to a desktop computer. She prefers yoga to a gym workout. He prefers water to sugary drinks. I prefer silence over a noisy environment. They prefer salads over fast food. He prefers homemade meals over restaurant dining. Structure. He prefers fruits rather than vegetables. Kelly prefers spicy food rather than mild. Jessica prefers jeans rather than shorts. Sarah prefers early mornings rather than late nights. She prefers dresses rather than pants. I prefer simplicity rather than complexity. He prefers manual labor rather than office work. The company prefers quality rather than quantity. She prefers strawberries rather than raspberries. Structure. We prefer nature to staying in cities. I prefer honesty to lying. She prefers books to reading magazines. Children prefer outdoor activities to staying inside. He prefers chocolate to eating sweets. Structure. I prefer a quiet morning to noise. I prefer a sunny day over rain. She prefers a smooth ride to bumps. He prefers organized things over chaos. Structure. They prefer a traditional wedding to a modern ceremony. He prefers a good night's sleep to a nap. We prefer a peaceful evening to a noisy party. He prefers a warm hug to a handshake. My friend prefers a long-term investment to a quick profit. Structure. She prefers cleaning. Jenny prefers sleeping. I prefer sitting alone. He does not prefer studying. I do not prefer shopping online. Structure. She prefers mopping to sweeping. He prefers repairing to replacing. I prefer saving to spending. Structure. I prefer eating over cooking. I prefer committing over delaying. Structure. He prefers exercising rather than relaxing. He prefers singing rather than dancing. Structure. I prefer working to doing nothing. He prefers dying to accepting his mistake. I prefer trying over giving up. We prefer cooking rather than ordering food. Structure. I prefer growing vegetables over buying them. He prefers making his own coffee over buying it. I prefer taking photos rather than being in photos. Structure. I don't prefer staying up all night over sleeping. She prefers watching people to socializing. Structure. They prefer volunteering to donations. We prefer working to idleness. She prefers reading to a movie night. She prefers cleaning over dishes. We prefer playing music over quietness. He prefers bird watching over photography. Structure. We prefer camping to hotel stays. She prefers running a business to office jobs. I prefer traveling over vacations at home. She prefers using natural beauty products over chemical ones. Structure. She prefers to walk to work. I prefer to work alone. I prefer to eat at home. He prefers to ride bikes. I prefer to do it by myself. I prefer to be alone. Structure. I prefer not to daydream. She prefers not to interrupt. I prefer not to argue. I prefer not to discuss it here. She prefers not to drive at night. He prefers not to drink alcohol. She prefers not to use her phone before bed. Structure. I prefer to write with a pen to a pencil. He prefers to eat a burger to pizza. I prefer to study languages to mathematics. She prefers to cook to takeaway. Structure. I prefer to use public transportation rather than to drive. We prefer to wake up early rather than to sleep in. He prefers to wear a tie to work rather than to go tieless. Structure. I prefer to solve problems rather than complain about small issues. She prefers to speak in public rather than avoid opportunities for growth. Thanks for watching.